Welcome to Sarasota History Alive. I'm Lee Gaines, your host, and today we're visiting the historic American National Bank, later known as the Orange Blossom Hotel. This neoclassical beauty stands proudly at 1330 Main Street. Since location is everything, this site's history takes us back to 1886, when the Belhaven Inn was in this same spot. The hotel, originally called the DeSoto, was a landmark on the waterfront housing Sarasota's affluent and distinguished visitors. By 1925, the Belhaven was beginning to show her age when Forrest Adair of Atlanta purchased her with plans to develop a 17-story modern hotel on a portion of the land. In March of 1926, the Grand Belhaven was demolished in a few days, and shortly afterwards the new building was already up to 4 stories. Adair Realty was already in negotiations for the American National Bank to take over the construction project by the end of April. Their bank was on Lower Main, and they had outgrown the location. They jumped on the opportunity to expand into the new hotel and avoid the trouble of finding land and building from scratch. The bank was completed in December of that same year to the tune of $650,000, and American National moved into their sumptuous bank quarters on the first floor. There were 124 office rental spaces above, and the larger suites had superb views of the bay. Steam heat was provided to all parts of the building, which also had a circulating ice water system with storage and filtration tank on the roof. With the collapse of the Florida land boom soon after the 1926 hurricane in Miami, banks were hit hard, and American National was no exception. It closed its doors in May of '28. The newly organized Palmer National Bank and Trust utilized the first floor briefly in 1929 until negotiations to occupy the failed First Bank and Trust location at 5 Points were completed. In the mid-1930s, Sarasota began to see an increase in visitors when Joseph Spadaro of Boca Grande Inn fame purchased the building and converted it into a hotel. The revamped Orange Blossom Hotel opened its doors to its first guests in 1936. Over the years, it changed hands and played host to many guests, including the stars of The Greatest Show on Earth, as well as Jimmy Roosevelt, Peter Lawford, and Esther Williams. On one occasion, Dave Garroway broadcast his Wild Wild World show from the hotel. By the mid-60s, vacationers were inclined to stay in hotels on the Sarasota Keys, Siesta, Longboat, and Lido. So in 1967, it was renovated and repurposed by a nonprofit agency as apartments for the 55 and older market. In 1994, the Foley Holding Corporation purchased it and brought it back to its original luster with mixed uses of residential, commercial, and retail offerings in the historic Palm Avenue district. Well, that's our show. Thanks for watching, and remember to come back each week as we continue to explore our past and keep Sarasota history alive.